It's finally time to say goodbye to Black Ops 6 Zombies. We're gonna go over everything it did right and everything it did wrong. I'm gonna show you my stats for the year, and we're gonna end it all where it started, taking on Patient 13. And one final time, here is the class we're using today. This is the AK-74. It wasn't the first gun we used because our creative class was locked until level 4, so we did actually start with a pistol, but this was the first gun that I got gold. And I'm just a fan of the AK platform. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. Obviously, this is the last game of Black Ops 6 I'm probably playing, because literally in less than 24 hours, we will be playing Black Ops 7. And to wrap up this year, I want to play one more game of Black Ops 6 and talk about all the things that I think it did right, and of course all the things I think it did wrong. And I want to be as fair as possible, so some of these polls might sound a little strange, but the first positive that comes to my mind when I think about Black Ops 6 is just how much better the maps are than they were in Cold War. And there are a lot of reasons for that. Obviously, maps like Terminus here and Citadel and the Tomb, and even some parts of Shattered Veil and maybe Reckoning, they have a lot more atmosphere, mainly Citadel and Terminus and the Tomb, obviously, but this sort of atmosphere, this sort of level of immersion, we just didn't get back in Cold War. I still remember that first ever game we played, coming out to this spot, looking at all the islands and be like, you could go out there, like, it's so darn cool. Of course, the comparison is always like Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4. They're not as stylized as that, but they are quite beautiful. And as a very strange positive, I'm going to try to win you over on this one, but I think the side quests have been a large step up from what we got back in Cold War. I know that sounds weird, but Cold War, I mean, looking back, I cannot remember really any meaningful side quests on those maps. D Machina had a good handful. I think that probably had the most next to Forsaken, but Firebase Z, there's like a free perk, you had the Monkey Bomb upgrade, and then that was kind of it. Mauer der Toten, you had obviously Klaus and his upgrade, and then you had the dance party Mr. Peaks side quest that you could go on, but again, after that, oh, I guess you had the sewer grate where you could throw a grenade in there 5 times and it would give you some salvage, but outside of that, I feel like there are more side quests in Terminus alone than the entirety of Cold War. That's probably not technically true, but it certainly feels that way. And I know we really want more map-specific side quests and map-specific like rewards and stuff and gameplay progression, which is absolutely something that they still need to work on, but there's almost like a new style of side quests that they did here that I'm a really big fan of. There are numerous free perk Easter eggs, free ether tool upgrades, which are really big, and then Pack-a-Punch stuff. Combine that with the amazing SAM trials, which I'm going to put as a positive too. Instead of having really long and map changing Easter eggs like, you know, Blood of the Dead's Golden Spork or Hell's Retriever and Redeemer, instead these Easter eggs kind of help you get set up. And it's not even getting set up either, because there are those free power-up drops around the map, which I also think are fantastic, that just kind of are universally helpful. Those tiny side quests that get you a free ammo mod or free ether tool, like, they literally change the way you play these maps. Not as much as those other ones before, like the plant system in Zetsubou and the afterlife system in Mob of the Dead. Obviously, I would love to see more of those sorts of things, but that's why I call it like a new style, because it's so different, but it works on a different level than what we had before. So even though I still believe there's work to be done about these side quests, I do think there's a lot of praise that we could give them too. And while we're semi still on the topic of maps, I love that each map has its own unique Pack-a-Punch camo, because that was a struggle during some years. I like how each map is unique. It's not like ripped from the campaign or something. Now there's some conspiracy on whether or not they did the new Liberty Falls map as a Resurgence map first and then made it a zombie map. I don't know exactly the right answer to that, but I do know that at least Liberty Falls and Shattered Shattered Veil play pretty well, and we didn't see them anywhere before in Zombies, so I think it's much better than that Cold War setup where all of those were like ripped from the campaign and kind of felt a little lackluster in a lot of areas. And overall, these systems I think are miles and miles worth of improvements over Cold War. This is gonna sound absolutely wild for you to hear right now, but I distinctly remember the majority, or at least the Reddit posts that I saw and the YouTube videos that I watched, that people were really asking for their next game to be like Cold War mechanics, like an updated version of Cold War mechanics with Black Ops 3 style of maps. That's what most people were asking for, and in my opinion, that's pretty close to what we got. Obviously, I think the maps and the side quests could do a little bit more, and there's some other things we'll get into with the negatives, of course, but people didn't like how easy Cold War was, so they made Black Ops 6 a lot more challenging. They limited you to 3 self-revives. You can only pick one of the major and minor augments as opposed to all like 5 of them that we had back in Cold War. Field upgrades take a lot longer to charge. There's a lot of these tiny little details that just help out so much. I think damage scaling goes a lot harder. Obviously, the boss zombie spam was a lot more here in Black Ops 6, especially at the start. I could go on about the difficulty of zombies and how zombies has never really been that difficult, but I think I've spoken enough about that this whole year. However, something I do want to showcase, because I know it's not something that everybody thinks about because it is like a modern system, but in addition to like the salvage being a lot more streamlined and better in my opinion, something that really helped with the difficulty was armor being a wall buy that cost points now. This had a very prominent effect on our economy because I'm approaching my double pack-a-punch for points now. You can see I've got 5,000 points until I can double pack a punch, but if I want more armor, I'm gonna need to spend 4,000 points, which means that my difficulty and my play style is gonna change what I do. A lot of you guys might just go straight for tier 2 armor, but me personally, I'm gonna go straight for a double pack a punch. And even that is not a decision that all of us would make. A lot of you guys would go, oh, I'm gonna go get PhD, I'm gonna go get Deadshot, I'm gonna go get double tap and all these different things. There's more strategy with this point economy because back in Cold War, armor cost salvage and Pack-a-Punch still used points. So really what you could do in Cold War is you could upgrade both your armor and your damage or your perks or whatever at the same time. So not only did it get harder to kill you, but you also killed things more easily, whereas those two being part of the same economy helps outbalance that sort of risk versus reward system. And I think that is well worth celebrating. I also want to give my praise, at least momentarily, to the crafting table, because I did recently go back and play a little bit of Cold War. Where's the ammo box over here? I played a little bit of Cold War and I realized that crafting table doesn't have shock charges or smoke grenades. It just has stims, decoys, monkey bombs, Casimirs, and stuns, and maybe something else. But yeah, the beauty that is the smoke grenade and the shock charges. And now in Black Ops 7, we're gonna get the sight grenades and the hunter bot. Those sorts of sandbox altering things aren't anywhere to be found in Cold War. So I really like that about the crafting table. And similarly to the point system, I know this is a small thing, but it really did make a big difference, at least to me. In Cold War, the crafting table had 2 different types of salvage, but the kill streaks would take rare salvage, blue salvage, and then like grenades and equipment would take like green salvage. So this meant that if you wanted to get more grenades and a kill streak, you could absolutely do that. But now in Black Ops 6, because it's all the same, you have to be really, really thoughtful in what you're gonna buy. Do you want to buy that really cool smoke grenade, or do you want to save your salvage for a chopper gunner during a boss fight? It forces the player to make meaningful decisions, and it allows for so much replayability and testing, so much more than what Cold War did, where it just gave you this power fantasy with like no strategy whatsoever. But I think we're getting too lost in the weeds here. I know I could gush about this sort of thing for a while. On a simpler note, I think, at least I hope we can all agree, that these main quests are quite a bit better than they were in Cold War. And after really thinking about it, this is a really dicey thing to say here, but I think these main quests are among the best in the series. I know that sounds so weird. I know, but they are fairly balanced. Black Ops 4 I love, and I do not think they are as difficult as people make them out to be, especially like the stinking Dead of the Night scratch mark step. Like a lot of the difficulty of those older Easter eggs comes from like watching the guide. Oh, hello, can we do this? Thank you. But then like going back and looking at Black Ops 3, I know this is going to be so crazy. When you look at just the main quest, not the specialist quest, not the pack-a-punch quest, a lot of those Black Ops 3 Easter eggs are in a lot of ways a lot simpler than what we have now in Black Ops 6. You look at something like Shadows of Evil, and all you got to do is interact with the book, complete some lockdowns with the flag step, and then you do a little mini boss fight with the Shadow Man, and then you electrocute the railings. It's not that long, and then Setsubo no Shima. You've got to use a gobblegum, grow a plant to shoot down an artillery, and then use a zipline. Like that's it, that's the main quest. Horizon Draha I think would be the most comparable to a Black Ops 6 main quest, but even then, I'd say something like The Reckoning is about comparable in terms of length, and maybe even Shattered Veil. Again, I know that's crazy, I believe me, I do, but when just looking at it fairly, I really do feel like that's true. I haven't put it on any sort of spreadsheet or anything to really measure how long they are, but hopefully you guys see where I'm coming from. That's not to say I don't think that these main quests could get any more complicated or especially longer. I definitely think they could be longer, but I just don't think they get the love they deserve. What does get the love it deserves though are all of the boss fights, because I do agree these are some of the best boss fights we have in the series, absolutely. Even on maps like the Tomb, people like the boss fight. Shattered Veil on a map that I'm not pretty fond of, there's a really cool dinosaur boss fight that we've been wanting to see for ages. And along with the boss fights, all of the Easter eggs, in my opinion, they all make the game play they all feel very different from one another. Liberty Falls is a very tutorial heavy, kind of beginner friendly main quest where it kind of teaches you everything. Terminus is very linear. Step by step, here you go. It's a little bit more challenging, a little bit more narrative driven and immersive. The Tomb is sole combat, completely focused on combat, nothing else. Citadel de Mor is like a collectathon where you can do anything in any order. Shattered Veil's a little mix between the two, where you can do certain things in certain orders, but you still got to do some things before other things. Like, it's really nice. And then The Reckoning is more of a challenging kind of, I don't know, it's similar to Shattered Veil, I guess, but it's a little bit more narrative driven, a little bit more focused on the facility itself. They play very different, and I think that's a really good thing. And speaking of playing different, I know we're going through all the positives first. Don't you worry, this is not just a glaze session here. We are going to get to the negatives. But in terms of playing differently, I think the weapons of Black Ops 6 might be one of my favorite weapons or set of weapons in the entirety of Zombies. These are the most varied weapons in terms of pack-a-punch effects we've gotten since Black Ops 1. And it's not even close. Cold War didn't have any. Black Ops 4 had a decent amount, but even then it still wasn't like crazy. It was better than Black Ops 3 because Black Ops 3 really didn't have any either. You had your typical starting pistols changing to explosives, but there really wasn't much else. And in World War II Zombies, if you don't know, World War II Zombies is like the king of unique pack-a-punch effects. So I think it's just second to that. And if you don't know, like the AK right here, if you pull the trigger once, you are gonna shoot 3 shots. It's almost like the AN-94. We've got SMGs and LMGs that have perfect hip fire. We've of course got explosive pistols, explosive sniper. We've got shotguns that have the Strelok laser attachment by default. We've got guns that speed up while you shoot. We've got guns that slow down while you shoot. We've got guns that have an insane rate of fire. There's a lot of special things about the guns here, and I very much love them. This is by far the best variety of weapons we've ever gotten. Not to mention they're actually useful on high rounds, which is really great. And speaking of replayability, how can I talk about replayability without mentioning the augment system? My goodness, I think the augment system, without hyperbole, is one of, if not the best addition to Zombies since like Pack-a-Punch. The amount of replayability it provides us, the amount of unique combat encounters and puzzles to solve, combined with the field upgrades, combined with the pieces of equipment, you can make any sort of class that you want. And what I love about it is that it's not like this instant instant win button like it was back in Cold War with all of those tiers, where it's just like, okay, once you unlock it, you're gonna find the best meta strategy. Oftentimes when I do my augment reviews, people are like, Donuts, what's the best augments? You know, they get to the end of the video, they're like, okay, Donuts, which one should I go for? I'm like, well, it depends on what you're trying to do. A lot of these, oh, I'm almost low on ammo. A lot of these augments, they all have their own pros and cons. Just because you like reactive armor doesn't mean that's the best one. I like probiotic, and there's a lot of us who love turtle shell too. And there's little things like that where turtle shell, yeah, it might not be like the meta strategy in every situation, but goodness, is it fun? Isn't it fun to try to go to turtle shell and see how high of a round you could get? It makes you play the game very differently, trying out different field upgrades with different augments, and I'm excited for next year where we're going to get 2 minor augments. I'm worried that it's going to be a little bit too powerful, but we'll see. I think there's so much fun to be had there. I think there is so much replayability, and I just, it blows my mind how much better this system is. Now I'm going to try something here that you guys told me. We're going to exit this. We're going to drop our thing in the boat. Can we drop our thing in the boat? No. Okay, never mind. In fact, oh wait, yes, I do have it. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Oh wait, no, it is dropped. What is this? Okay, apparently I have it on me. That's very strange. I'm sorry, Patient 13. Anyway, I shouldn't try something brand new on the last day of Black Ops 6. What are we doing, Donuts? Come on. And believe me, I could go on and on about even more positives with Black Ops 6, but now I want to get into some of the more things that I'm split on. The first of which, I think the perfect example might just be armor. This is a crazy opinion, I know, but I think the Black Ops 6 armor is the best implementation of armor that we've ever seen in zombies. I love the manual plating. I think that adds a whole level of strategy. I think that brand new Vulture Aid augment is going to be kind of a blessing and a curse at the same time for a lot of people, because you're going to be wasting a lot of armor plates. When you go back and play Cold War, I challenge you, because there are times where you're low on armor and like zombies just don't drop armor and you're just kind of screwed, and there's nothing you could do about it except run all the way across the map to an arsenal station and refill your armor. Black Ops 6's armor is the best of both worlds, where yes, you can still go to the crafting table and craft more, but you can also hold 3 in reserve, and enemies drop them super frequently. And I know I said this is like one of my conflicting things here, but I just wanted to say this. Zombies has always been about resource management, and part of that resource management was health management. Back in the day, it was how many hits could I take? How close was I to all the zombies? And could I run past them? And that is still the case, except armor gives you more flexibility in that, and it adds a whole new layer. Where I'm conflicted about it though is that there are a lot of other means through which you can get hit. There are like 40 to 50 zombies on the map. There are super sprinters. The hit speed is super fast. Their range seems to be super fast. And there's boss zombie spam. I've seen a lot of people just say, oh, if you get rid of damage scaling, then we don't need armor. And that is just mathematically, logically, in reality, not true. There are so many other factors to armor than just that. Plus, I want to do a deep dive into this, but for example, the lockdown that we just went on, right? In any other zombie game, like the Shadows of Evil Flagstep, that has one and only one, well, I guess maybe 2 difficulties. You're going to do it with Jug or without Jug, and that's it. And the developers have to balance that step around one universal difficulty. However, with armor, if there's a step like that, like the lockdown step in the ship, like the nuke step that we're about to go on, the defuse step, if you find that really challenging, what you can do, you can now, if you find yourself taking too many hits, you can buy armor to take less hits, which means that now, depending on you, your playstyle, there is like a built-in difficulty setting. I noticed this a lot when going back and looking at some of my old footage. I get very timid, and when a new map comes out, I'm like, oh, where's tier 3 armor? I want to get it right away. But once I'm comfortable with the map, oh, I'll go tier 2, I'll do this, I'll play a lot more risky because I'm more comfortable, and just having that flexibility is really cool as opposed to one consistent difficulty throughout the entirety of the game. But as you know, my main downside of all of this is hits that you cannot avoid. Oh, good, we got Deadshot. I hate it. I absolutely hate it when you take damage in zombies and it's not your fault. But that is not just a modern zombie thing. That's always been in zombies. It's just, it's a little bit more in modern zombies. I remember hating hating that. This is gonna be crazy. I remember hating the shield because in Black Ops 4, zombies were really aggressive. You've got a lot of boss zombies, you got the catalyst zombies, they're all hitting your shield, and like nearly every round, you have to go to the workbench and repair your shield. It was so darn annoying. And armor feels similar to that, but because we can hold 3 armor plates in reserve and zombies drop armor like candy, it is so much better. So you see, I am conflicted. I do really like the old school, like 3 hit down, 5 hit down. I think that's really simple. I think it's great, but I see the benefits of armor, even though I feel like, okay, it's not always fair in my eyes. But I think that's enough armor talk for now. Next up, we got weapon rarity, which has been a hot topic lately. I couldn't tell you, I can't put into words how much I don't care about weapon rarity. It's fine. Like, I get it. It might be a little redundant because Pack-a-Punch already increases your damage, but then again, so does double tap. And like, we have a rapid fire attachment, so why do we need double tap if we're gonna go with the redundant thing? I don't see it as this big evil boogeyman that everybody else seems to. Going towards the negative side, in fact, this might be where the bad starts rearing its ugly head. We have the set crew. Boy, oh boy, I was so happy to have a set crew this year. And here in Terminus, hearing their voices react to things, it was beautiful doing the main quest. I loved it, interacting with all these guys. It was so magical. But as the time went on, as we started figuring out more, oh, we need to go do this. Let's do that. As time went on, especially after Citadel and the Tomb and the Writer Strike or whatever, it became abundantly clear that these character quotes were pretty darn awful. Super lackluster, very basic. They were more operator quotes than they were character quotes. And that's something that I really hope, it's something that needs to improve with Black Ops 7. Go back, and I challenge you, go back, play Black Ops 3, play Black Ops 4, and it gets to the point where some of those characters saying things, it almost gets annoying. It almost gets like, oh my goodness, these guys just don't shut up. But there's a way to turn off character quotes, I think, in old games, so it's fine. I think you can turn like dialogue volume down in all the games. But it literally did get to that part where so many people are talking so frequently that people got annoyed by it. I love the environmental stuff here. Side note, that's one of the things I desperately love and no one talks about, the set dressing zombies where you open up a door and there's zombies there like eating another like, I love that stuff. Sorry to randomly add a positive in the negative section, but that just reminded me that's so immersive. I love that. See, like this, oh, it's so cool. I know a lot of work goes into that and I love it. I appreciate it so much. Now I know Black Ops 7 we're gonna have like 8 playable characters and that just makes me so worried because another low-hanging fruit here, the story. My goodness, what happened to the story, guys? I don't hate it. Like when you list out the actual series of events, it's not bad. But when you look at the Liberty Falls intro cutscene and how awesome that is and the buildup with Cold War and Liberty Falls we knew all the way back in Cold War, at least we got hints of it. And so it was this big, huge, hyped thing. And like, we really didn't do anything in there. I mean, it's kind of where the story ended because that's where Sam was brought back or Richtofen's family was brought back. But as a storyteller, it's kind of lame. Like, all right, here's the story. Richtofen's trying to get his family back and he imprisoned these guys because for some reason. And so we broke out of prison and we're gonna go kill Richtofen. But as soon as we see Richtofen, we actually don't kill him because we have this Sam AI that we're now fighting against or with. And we're gonna choose to either make this brand new AI that we just met like a week ago, make them a real person with Sam's old body that we just lost and she supposedly said is dead in the dark ether, or we're gonna help Richtofen get his family back, who we've been trying to kill Richtofen this whole time. Like, it makes sense to why Weaver and Gray might want him to have his family back because, you know, the whole accidentally killing his family ordeal, but the story ends with like, and they did that. Congratulations, you made it to the end. There's no like twist, there's no like, oh my goodness, we didn't see that coming, like we knew Sam was gonna betray us. I mean, I guess that's kind of a twist, but even then it's not really a twist because you could help her in Reckoning. So I mean, and then the thing that really gets me, the thing that breaks my heart in half, they implemented the Chaos storyline, the Chaos characters, the Sentinel artifact into this, and for what? For what? Why is it here? Why couldn't it have been just the summoning key? You know, the biggest plot MacGuffin from the Ether storyline that is in the Dark Ether now? Why does it need to be the Sentinel? Like, I'm not saying it doesn't make sense to be the Sentinel artifact, but why does it need to be the Sentinel artifact? What did it being the Sentinel artifact have to add to the story? Not to mention, I know this is going to be a strange little pull here, we got obvious references to the Chaos crew, the Chaos characters, and Alistair, Rhodes, and everybody. We got very, very little. We did reference it a little bit. We got a little bit of Cortifex, but very little reference to the other Dark Ether gods that were set up in Vanguard. Now, I'm hoping that changes in Black Ops 7, because when you really stand back and look at what Black Ops 6 is, it almost feels like filler. I hate to say it because I hate those rumors that are like, Black Ops 6 was just filler, so Black Ops 7's the real game that they wanted to make. I feel like that's such a cop-out answer and copium. But if Black Ops 7 deals with the Modern Warfare Zombies ending and Vanguard elements and gives us a really solid continuation of Cold War story, which I actually feel is pretty unlikely. It feels as though Black Ops 6 and Cold War are on their own island in terms of story, and then the rest of everything else is on its own little island. It's so strange. It's so strange. But while we're talking about the story, we cannot and we should not ignore the fact that we only got 3 intro cutscenes. You have this amazing intro cutscene with Liberty Falls, and then a great cutscene for Terminus, and then Citadel is basically just dialogue, and then there's nothing after that. It is absolutely terrible. Now you might think, donuts, who cares about intro cutscenes? You just skip them anyway, and that's a very valid perspective, but I want you to understand that those tiny details, these intro cutscenes, they are part of the culture of zombies. Their benefit, their value to the game cannot be quantified. It's not a number. Like, you can't just say, oh, the best intro cutscene is the one with the most views. That's not how it works. Intro cutscenes serve as a storytelling device. We love the Liberty Falls intro cutscene not because, oh my goodness, it was the longest or reviewed it the most or anything like that. We like it because it actually told an interesting story and it made us excited for this story. Even if we never watched the Liberty Falls intro cutscene again, it definitely stuck in our minds, and that's a lot of what's missing with this story. Oftentimes, the value of good storytelling isn't quantifiable through views or through any sort of statistical measurement. The value of the story is the emotional impact that it has on its players, and Black Ops 6 failed to elicit that emotional moment outside of the Liberty Falls cutscene, the Shattered Veil mid-boss cutscene, and maybe the end of the Reckoning cutscene. I say maybe because the end of the Reckoning cutscene is just the intro to Ashes of the Damned, which is my next negative, in the sense that when you look at really the only thing that is unique to Reckoning, that end cutscene is technically just them being teleported away, and then we get like a shot of whoever we saved staring into the sunset. That's the end cutscene for this entire game. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's also why, again, people really do think, and I don't know, I might believe them, that this was meant to be a bridge game, like an in-between game. I don't like that idea, but I could see why people think that. And I think one of the most common overall themes of my negatives with Black Ops 6, and this, I've been really thinking about this because I get labeled as like toxic positive all the time, but I'd like to think I'm just fair with the game. And part of that is because I really don't like talking about negatives. I feel like it's just so whiny to me. But then I also had the realization that the things that I don't like about Black Ops 6 are more so things that aren't present in the game. If there was something that was actively antagonizing me, like boss zombie spam, I'll tell you about it. And you guys know, I talk about it all the time. If there's something that's preventing me from having fun, I'll talk about it. But when it comes to the character quotes or the intro cutscenes, things that aren't there, things that are missing, that's where I don't really bring it up. Not because I don't want to, but just because that's more of an active process rather than just a reactionary process. When you ask me, how do I think about this game? I think about what is here, not necessarily what's not here. And that being said, the things that are missing, the character quotes, the intro cutscenes, the story, but also map-specific progression. There are a lot of different ways to say this. You could call it map depth. People say unique side quests, even though I don't think that's technically right. Map specific progression, in my opinion, is a little bit better, but there's definitely something missing from this modern zombies formula when it comes to things being map specific. Why should I play Terminus over Citadel? Why should I play the Tomb over Liberty Falls? Why should I play Reckoning over Shattered Vale? A lot of people will say, oh, the systems are the same. The systems are so homogenous, and well, that's kind of true. It's also kind of not, because the systems of older zombies games were also homogenous, right? It was the same point system, the same pack-a-punch on every map, the same point system on every map, the same perks, well, most of the perks on similar maps, at least in Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4. I think there's like 5 different things they could do to make players want to play different maps. And one of the biggest things, you guys were waiting for this as soon as I started the negatives, I know, the lack of map-specific new enemies and wonder weapons. I love the Beam Smasher, I love the swords, I love the Gorgofex, the ray guns, the Wonderwaff, the jet gun, the ice staff. Despite how fun they may be, emotionally, I just don't care, and I'm tired of seeing them. Like Ray Gun Mark II, okay, that's fine, whatever. But man, why would I play Citadel that has amalgams and doppelgasts? Or I guess I should say, why would I play the Tomb that has amalgams and doppelgasts over something like Citadel de Mort, which also has doppelgasts and amalgams? At least Black Ops 1, when it was very bare bones, I think Black Ops 1 is very bare bones. There's not a whole lot of replayability in those maps for me personally. That's really the game that comes down to every game playing the same as the previous one. But even then, those maps atmospherically were very unique from one another, which is fantastic. But those boss zombies changed the way you play those games for the entirety of the game too. Those monkeys on Ascension, the monkeys on Shangri-La, George on Call of the Dead, those were fundamentally different experiences. And we could have had that, and we sort of had that on like Reckoning is a great example, but because there's a doppelgast on every single DLC map, because there's an amalgam on half the maps, because the Disciple isn't technically new, it just makes these maps feel very bland. It is a huge missed opportunity, and it's something I hope Treyarch learns from, especially with the Wonder Weapons too, right? Oh no, I didn't. I thought there was a platform there. Having that unique Wonder Weapon that we've never had before is so interesting. To this day, I want to go use the Gorgofex because I'm like, oh, I don't have that much playtime in Reckoning compared to the other maps, but man, I've used the Wonderwaff for years, man, I've used the ray guns all these times. Anything to make these maps feel a little bit more special is gonna be great. And I really like the idea of having like map specific craftables, like put the monkey bomb and the Casimir back in the mystery box. Let us hit the mystery box a little bit more. Let this UI right here, let this change depending on the map that we're on. If we're in the Tomb in the Dark Ether, make this be like a vortex in the dark ether. If we're on Shattered Vale, make this be like a little table with like fossils on it, and put little fossils up here too. That would be so sick. I could go on. I really could go on. I could get into little tweaks and changes that I would make, but that is ultimately the biggest things that I think Black Ops 6 failed at. The story, the characters, map-specific progression, map uniqueness overall. I think it did really well with improving all sides of Cold War in terms of maps, side quests, characters, at least a little bit, the crafting table, the augment system, the boss zombies, the main quests, and how could I forget, dang it, I can't believe I forgot this, 2 of the biggest, most game-changing things in zombies, save and quit and directed mode. My goodness, how many people would have done Black Ops 3 or Black Ops 4's main quest if we had directed mode? That would be so cool. That is one of the most important changes to zombies ever. Again, with augments, same goes for save and quit. Save and quit is phenomenal. I actually get to high rounds now in Black Ops 6. I've got a Tomb game saved at round like 100 or something right now because I don't plan on saving and quitting and testing anything out for Black Ops 6. So I would love to just pop onto that game every once in a while, grind out out some rounds, have some fun. I love it. Plus, it's fantastic for testing and camo grinding, of course. To be fair though, to balance out this positive coming at the end of the video, the pause timer, the 15-minute pause timer is just ridiculous. I think that's absurd. It's not bad, it's not terrible, it's not like, oh my goodness, game changing, but for like modern gaming standards, my goodness, I hate it. I hate it so much. I really hope they let us play this offline in 10 years time, because it would suck to turn off all of these servers and to never let us play this again. Oh my goodness. Hello, excuse me, pardon me. Another positive, I do want to say, I can't believe, I mean, I forgot it was a positive because it's such a small deal in my brain. The HUD. The HUD is such a positive for me in Black Ops 6. It's not perfect, it's not like, oh my goodness, super zombified or whatever, but it shows all of the relevant information that I want. It's completely customizable. I think this is one of the best HUDs we've ever gotten. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, not everyone likes the health bars and damage numbers. Damage numbers are good for me, my testing. But when you look at my footage, I've seen so many compliments about my footage because they didn't know that you could turn off all of the stuff on the HUD. Those of you know, I'm really done talking about the HUD. I think it's fine. I think it's even fine in Black Ops 7. It's not perfect. I don't like the weapon picture either, but man, oh man, it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. And just the customization we have with it is really good. It's better than what we've ever had before. Also, just want to point out here, if we didn't have damage scaling, look at how crazy chaotic this would be with parasites, with all of these zombies, with the manglers and these gas things shooting at you. Like, this would need to be completely rebalanced without damage scaling. So again, it's not just about armor. It's not just about armor. I do wonder, this is speaking on directed mode, I recall Jason Blundell, who led Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4 Zombies. Oh, let's just do you down there. He said something to the effect that he never wanted to do a tutorial for zombies because it's supposed to be like community driven and people need to figure it out for themselves, which a lot of people love that mindset. A lot of people love, I mean, I guess it's technically gatekeeping, but it's a special thing to have zombies and figure it out for yourself. But I wonder if he, instead of in Black Ops 4 where we had the casual mode, where, oh, we're gonna end it here. We're gonna end it here. Goodbye, Patient 13-1. Final time, goodbye. Aw, I'm gonna miss this. This is so fun. For those of you who don't know, Black Ops 4 had a casual mode, but all of the Easter eggs were disabled. I wonder if that casual mode had Easter eggs enabled, including the main quest, how much more approachable and how many more players would be willing to do these Easter eggs. That could have introduced a lot of players into the magic of those Black Ops 4 main quests. There's so much. There's so much to talk about. Overall, I think we are going to look back on Black Ops 6 so fondly. I think this is easily one of the best zombie games we've ever gotten, and I didn't even mention the post-launch content. 3 maps in 3 seasons I was a big fan of. I know people like stretching it out, but isn't that like drip-feeding content, which everybody hates? I don't know. I love the fast pace at the beginning of the year where the hype is up. It was fantastic, and when you look at all the LTMs that we got, yes, there were like 8 or 9 of them, and their quality was here or there, but the quantity was good, even if the quality wasn't, so that's kind of a mixed bag. But then we got 3 new perks over the course of the seasons, 3 new field upgrades, 2 new ammo mods, a bunch of different gobblegums. If we got this level of content back in Black Ops 3 or Black Ops 2, we would be overwhelmed. Black Ops 3 had 1 new perk at the launch of the game. I mean, I guess technically they introduced Electric Cherry onto Eisendrache, so maybe you could count that. But then with each of those things, there were brand new augments with those things, new abilities, new ways of playing, making the sandbox even better. We got the return of Grief, which is very controversial. There is some group of people who really love Grief, but it was a majority flop, so it's hard to tell. We have been asking for Grief for so long, and it's cool that we finally got it. Plus, we got the return of choose your own boss fight, choose your own Easter egg. We got a lot of things. Treyarch did, in my opinion, a pretty good job at listening to what we wanted this year. I know they didn't give us everything we wanted, but they have sure shown and proved that they are listening. I hope that was a very fair assessment. I could literally go on and on and on about this game, both positive and negative, and what I would do and what I would change, but I'm just so excited for Black Ops 7. There's so much to talk about there. I wanted to do a good proper send-off. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to do all of the maps and do literally everything like I did last year for Modern Warfare 3. Between the Zombies beta and my honeymoon and like just the content grind that I was on. I just couldn't get to it. But what I will do, and I love doing this, I want to take a look at my stats for the year. Going into our combat record, this 19 days I think is wrong, because if we go into our leaderboards for zombies, I have 29 days played. I have played 633 games. Apparently, again, this says 15 days, so I don't know if that's accurate. 68 boss eliminations. That's a lot of Easter eggs. I did get the calling card for over 1 million eliminations, so I don't know what that is all about. These definitely are not accurate. My exfil ratio 0.44, highest round 117. That's actually kind of nice. A little Halo reference there. Highest exfil round 101, 282 exfils, 14,000 rounds complete. Obviously, the higher you go, the slower that'll be, but that's pretty cool. 42% critical kill accuracy, pack-a-punch, that's going to go down with like ice staff stuff. Lots of legendary weapon. Lots of one-shot kills. This is pretty cool. Going to our maps though, 118 exfils on Liberty Falls, highest round 57, yep. Fastest quest time, 27 minutes, let's go. I really wish I was able to speedrun it. That was again right before my honeymoon, and then Reckoning was coming out. I just missed that opportunity to make that video. Moving on to Terminus, we've got 126,000 eliminations, 42 exfils, 116 as my highest round, and 47 minutes as my fastest completion time. Citadel Day More, we've got 41 exfils, 127,000 eliminations, highest round 101, 45 minutes for my fastest quest. That's pretty fast for a Citadel. The Tomb, 43 exfils, 117 is my highest round. The most eliminations, 173,000 eliminations, and my fastest quest time is only 53 minutes. Wow, that's crazy. I don't do the Tomb's main quest all that much. Shattered Veil, we've got 21 exfils, highest round is 81. 55 minutes for the quest time and only 80,000 eliminations. Can you tell I'm not the biggest Shattered Veil fan? Reckoning, 58,000 eliminations. Of course, this is DLC 5, hard to do it. 17 exfils, 101 highest round, and then 1 hour and 2 minutes for that fastest quest time. Again, very slow. Moving back to our combat record, you can see our exfil ratio is higher here, but it's less days played. 732 games. It's so weird. Here's 890 eliminations. My top map is the Tomb, at least when it comes to high rounds. Going through these, you'll see highest round 57 to 60 games played. We've got 116 for our highest round, 105 games played. Look at 5 days played compared to 2 days in all these other ones. That's crazy for Liberty Falls. Lots of testing on that map. Citadel Day More, round 101, 92 games, 3 days. I got more game time, well, just barely. I got a couple more hours and a lot less games compared to Terminus here. Pretty cool. Round 117 for the Tomb, 90 games, but 2 days played. Shattered Veil, only round 81. 57 games played, 1 day, 20 hours, still pretty respectable. And then we've got 28 games played, round 101 on Reckoning with 1 day and 7 hours. Again, pretty respectable for that 5th DLC or 4th DLC, 5th season. For our weapons, I'm going to scroll through these pretty decently so you can kind of get a feel for what all my weapons I use. I use a lot of different weapons. I love all this stuff. But if we go all the way down, you can see we're getting to the Sarkov. These are the guns I would say I don't use all that often. 9mm, XMG, Dresden's brand new, the jet guns down here, Gorgafex C, my beloved, Gravemark, PML, you can see all these new guns. And then I think, yeah, HDR, the Resonator, all the swords, all the wonder weapons. Wow, lots of wonder weapons down here. And then we've got the knife, the pickaxe. That's definitely not true. I've definitely used the knife quite a bit. I don't know why that says 0. Pickaxe, baseball bat, Cali sticks, all these other melee weapons I don't really use all that much. It's weird that this says 49, but they don't have anything for eliminations. I do think you can change this to like critical kills, critical kill percent, packed eliminations. That's pretty cool. Top weapon being the Maelstrom and the AMAX. I did a lot of testing for the suppressor with the AMAX, so that's why I imagine that's probably really high. Legendary rarity, of course, the Maelstrom, the Strider 22s, and the Cypher. I do really like how the Cypher feels. Let's move on to equipment, because I know you can change in all these different prestiges. There's the Casimir for the lifetime Molotov, Simtex, combat knife. Ooh, Ether Blade's quite high. That's interesting. Fire incantation. unleashing all these incantations. That's pretty cool. Smoke grenade's gonna have 0. Lots of uses though, 344 uses. How much have I used? 1 stim shot. That's not true. Yeah, these probably aren't super accurate. Field upgrades. Hopefully this is fixed. Yeah, okay, dude, Dark Flare, let's go. 10,000 kills with the Dark Flare. Extension, extra charge, 15 kills per use. Highest multi-kill is 47, 650 uses. Energy mine, of course, high round training or high round camping on the tomb. Frost Blast, surprised to see that there. Definitely will be overshadowed by Mr. Peaks once I start using this more. Didn't use Frenzied Guard all that much. Again, don't know why. I guess kills. Yeah, these things don't kill, right? Kills while active. Obviously, Ether Shroud, 5,000 kills while active. That's pretty good. Tesla Storm. I need to use Tesla Storm more. I feel like there's something fun about it that I haven't found out yet. Moving on to our perks, you can also see our top major and minor augments. I really wish this got all the way up to Turtle Shell, but Probiotic, Hardened Plate. So you just got to do it, right? Speed Cola is the next one I normally bought, and then PhD. I do buy these quite a bit. I'm surprised Double Tap isn't here. You can see I run Classic Formula, Fast Pitcher, PhD Slider, Tribologist, Dead Head and Dead Break, Stalker and Hotfoot. Love me some Stalker. Dying Wish, Karmic Return, Smell of Death and Picky Eater. We got Espresso and Strength Training. Elemental Pop, we've got Citrus Focus, Vulnerbean, the go-to, and then Double Tap, Double Standard, and Double or Nothing. Surprised that that has reached that so high. I used Double Impact for quite some time, but man, Double Standard against boss zombies, special enemies, it's just great. And then Double or Nothing, I'm using the Rapid Fire one now, so I think that's gonna change soon. And then Death Perception, obviously my least bought perk, Death Stare, and extra change. Ammo mods, we've got Deadwire, Who's Surprised, and then Cryo Freeze, nice! I think I did a couple round 55s or 50s with Cryo Freeze. Napalm Burst after they buffed it. Ooh, love Napalm Burst, and of course Liberty Falls. But then Shadow Rift, again, excited to test it. I feel like there's something fun there that I'm missing. And then these ones, I don't really like Lightmen, don't really like Brain Rot. I do like Shatter Blast, and I'm really excited to see what that's gonna be with 2 different minor augments. I think this could be game changing. I don't know, depending on what it could be, I'm really excited for it. Score streaks, obviously Mutant Injection, getting to high rounds, Chopper Gunner. I love me the hand cannon, especially on Liberty Falls. The Death Machine's great, War Machine, Sentry Turret, Mangler Cannon, you know, we're starting to get to these whatever things. Combat Bow, ooh, the Fowler Mutant Injection, interesting. Yeah, I don't even have the Combat Bow fully maxed out for its badge. That's crazy. But now I want to go through these prestiges just on this page, not on everything. We're gonna go prestige 1. You could see our exfil ratio is really high, our time played, you could see our best guns over here, the XMG, the ASG, of course, the PP919. Top map was Terminus at round 41, going to prestige 2. It was Liberty Falls on round 36, or yeah, around 36 with the XM4 9mm and the SWAT, probably camo grinding or something. Exfil's up a little bit. Not a lot of hours on Prestige 2. Maybe there's double XP. Moving on to Prestige 3, less exfilling. We got the GS45s, highest round on Liberty Falls. SWAT 556, GPR still up there. Weird guns to have. Prestige 4, we got the SVD, the Power Drill, the SOG. Season 1 is finally here. Again, that exfil ratio is just decreasing as we go. Top map is Terminus, round 50. Prestige 5, we're back to Liberty Falls, only round 33. I must have been grinding out some stats and data stuff here. C9, GPMG, and KSV. Pretty good. 0.19 for an exfil ratio. That's really low. Here we go. This is where I got to round 100 on Citadel de Mor. Prestige 6 with Solias, the Jackal PDW, and the GPMG, great for that Citadel boss fight. Prestige 7, Strider 22, HE1, and Ames 85. Yeah, this is definitely not when they buffed the Strider, so I don't know what that's about. It's only 3,000 eliminations, so maybe like 1 or 2 games. Again, probably was camo grinding it or something. Highest round 56, Prestige 8. This is crazy. We're just going with Citadel. You would have thought that the Tomb had been out by now. Maybe I was just grinding out XP. Sarkov as my first one for Prestige 8. That's crazy. Frostline, Model L. Oh, I was definitely testing something here. I think I was testing Vulture Aid and that salvage drop earn rate. Really crazy. Prestige 9, we're back at Liberty Falls with the XM4 Model L GS45. And then Prestige 10, still Citadel at round 56 with another high round strategy on Citadel, XM4, and finally the Sarkov again. Very strange. And then Prestige Master, of course, I staffed the Tomb round 117, Maelstrom, Amax, there we go. That's what we've got. We've got all of our calling card challenges complete. We've got most of our mastery badges, like I said, except for the combat bow here. Everything else is fully, well, okay, in the melee weapons, but everything else is fully done, as you can see. And we've got all of the bullet weapons Nebula. So this took actually not that bad of a time. Everything's done. We just got the HDR, all the pistols, the specials and launchers, really fun. And then we still have all these melees to do, but I don't think I'm ever going to do that. And as heartbreaking as this is, we are only level 951. We are 50 levels away from Prestige Master. So you better believe I am coming back here, grinding out some challenges and XP until we finally get to level 1000. And I should show you my gobblegums. This is going into Black Ops 7. We've got 99 plus of every regular gobblegum except tactical diffusion, 99 plus of the respin cycles and the soda fountains, which is perfect. Who's keeping scores? Almost there. Legendaries, we've got quite a bit here, nothing too crazy. Wall power's good. On the house is fantastic. I love that I have a lot of those. Don't trust these or sort of these, because I did buy three to five of these packs because I wanted to test out, what was it? Oh, modified chaos back when it first released. So this isn't all just strictly earned. A lot of that, maybe a third of that has been bought. And then we've got these whimsicals because I do like exfilling, 99 plus of the base ones and a decent amount of the other ones too. And ladies and gentlemen, that is it for Black Ops 6 Zombies. I am so excited for Black Ops 7. I hope you guys are too. If you still want to reminisce and go back in time to where Black Ops 6 first started, you could catch my live reaction to everything in my very first live stream. Be sure to check that out right here and stay beautiful.